greetings, seekers of profound tales and timeless wisdom. Today, we embark on a journey into the post-enlightenment life of the Buddha. A chapter full with transformative encounters, shared wisdom, and the gentle guidance of a compassionate teacher. As the Buddha's footsteps led him back to the kingdom of Kapilavastu, we witness the unfolding of a narrative that transcends the ordinary unveiling the into and proponents of all beings. Join me as we explore the nuances of the Buddha's, who turned his interactions with the children of the village, and the lessons imparted to both the young and old echoing through the ages. After his enlightenment, the Buddha did not immediately leave the forest. Every day he would bathe in the Niranjana river, a serene and pure ritual. He would walk along the river's edge, and sometimes he would meditate beneath a sacred bodhi tree in the forest. He had realized his profound purpose, the path that he must follow. He knew he had to return to the kingdom of Kapilavastu to meet those who awaited his success. He also yearned to see the young princess Yasodhara, who held a special place in his heart. He had a unique connection with her. He longed to see his 5 former companions, knowing that they possessed the potential for swift awakening. So he eagerly sought to reunite with them. Everything had changed for him. The flowing river, the vast sky, his stars, the mountains, even every blade of grass, and sped the best had transformed because of his enlightenment. He understood that the journey of the soul over many lifetimes had not been in vain. He had endured countless difficulties and trials which ultimately contributed to his awakening. Every living being naturally possesses the seeds of awareness and wisdom hidden within. This was a significant revelation for the Buddha, and it is a realization that every sentient being should cherish. The children from the village often came to visit him. He was delighted to witness them grasp the path to liberation, even though they had never received formal education. He carried a basket of oranges with them one day to put into practice. The first lesson, the Buddha taught them the mindful consumption of an orange. After this, they respectfully offered the basket to him. He took an orange from the basket, peeled it slowly, and deliberately, maintaining deep awareness. The children followed his lead, mimicking his every move. With the same mindfulness, they offered the basket to the child sitting next to them. This practice continued until each child had an orange, and then they all sat in silence, just like the others with oranges in their hands. The Buddha encouraged them to smile gently and follow their breath, letting go of anger and sadness within their hearts. The children understood his teachings completely, and their gratitude for the lesson was profound. Often in the afternoon, the children would come to explore the Buddha's presence. He taught them how to sit down, follow their breath, using their breath to calm their inner turmoil and pain. He also encouraged them to observe themselves and their actions deeply in order to better understand and love themselves. The children grasped all of his teachings. During this time, the Buddha and Princess Yasodhara spent the entire day together. He made a new robe for him, as the old one was now in tatters. Its color remained vibrant, just like his previous robes, or rich saffron. When they discovered the Buddha's present attire was fashioned from his previous robe, they almost wept. Jingo bought a new robe. It filled their hearts with profound joy. He decided to make another one for her. One day, a 12-year-old girl named Ananda, a close friend of Princess Yasodhara, approached the Buddha with a request. The previous day, there had been a dispute between her and her dearest friend Jalaka while on their way to see the Buddha. Despite passing by Jalaka, Yasha refused to enter as she had lost her way. However, the next day, Yasodhara urged her to make amends with Jalaka, which she did. In the days of old, life's tapestry wove together creatures, rocks, winds, fire, water, plants, insects, fish, turtles, birds, and mammals. This is what I observed from my meditation cushion. In that particular tale, I was once a deer grazing by the serene lakeside, with my friends a turtle and a bird. 1,000 years ago it unfolded when I was but a deer wandering these woods. I remember a time when I was just a rock, a tiny yielding presence, at the mountain's peak, and another as a supple willow tree by the lakeside. You are too. have embarked on your own unique journeys. I wish to share a story with you, a story of a deer, a bird, a turtle, and a hunter. Perhaps among you some resonates with the bird or the turtle in his tale. I was a deer living in a tranquil lake, frequently quenching my thirst from its cool waters. Unbeknownst to me, a hunter had set up a trap along the lake's edge. One day, as I approached the lake to drink, I accidentally stumbled onto the hunter's snare. My cries for help reached my friends the turtle and the bird who were perched nearby. The turtle and the bird with the scene. My rusty intentions pondered how best to rescue their friend. A bird suggested, "Dear turtle, you have a strong beak that can sever these snares. I shall do my best to distract the hunter." After conveying this plan, the bird immediately swooped towards the hunter's house. A deer in distress observed this unfold. The hunter, realizing the significance of the situation, left his home. Frustration gnawed at him as he struggled with the trap, making him exclaim, "Why won't this release me?" The shrewd bird had already anticipated this and guided the hunter away from the scene. Did the same more, the turtle diligently began gnawing on the snare ropes, the only thing holding me captive. These ropes were as tough as steel, and the relentless effort had caused the turtle's beak that never wavered. Soon the bird returned to the house, alerting the hunter the deer has already fled. Meanwhile, the turtle persevered, working tirelessly to free. The last shred of the snare finally gave way. By this time, the deer, trembling with fear, had managed to break free. Seeing my chance, I fled into the safety of the woods. Gunther was furious, unable to catch his prey. As I sprinted away, the hunter released his anger on my friends the turtle and the bird. He caught the turtle and lifted it from the tree, attempting to bring it harm. The bird, however, still burning with courage, rushed to attack the hunter. The bird clawed at the hunter's face, causing chaos and confusion. The hunter, perturbed and outnumbered, retreated to his home. A deer in a beard had managed to escape the impending danger, but the resilient turtle, having exhausted its strength, couldn't move. With sadness in its heart, it watched as the deer made its getaway. The turtle's sacrifice saved the lives of the deer and of the bird. Its beak bled, but its spirit remained undaunted. It became apparent that the hunter, overwhelmed and thwarted by the sequence of events, couldn't pursue further. The lessons from this ancient tale are profound. It teaches us about the interdependence of all beings, the value of selflessness, and the courage to stand up in the face of adversity. I went in search of the deer, and the deer spotted the sea turtle in the forest. He thought my friends are in life-threatening danger because of me. Now is the time for me to repay them. With this intention, the deer emerged, allowing the hunter to see it. The deer pretended to be exhausted and walked slowly, tired. The hunter thought this deer has little strength left. I'll follow it and seize the opportunity to kill it. He followed the deer deep into the forest, and the deer intentionally maintained a certain distance between them. They eventually reached a place far from the lake's edge. Suddenly, the deer accelerated its pace and vanished without a trace. It used its hooves to conceal its tracks and quickly returned to the lake. The deer then used its antlers to lift the bag hanging from the tree, which contained the sea turtle. The sea turtle flew back to the sea, and they rejoined. The deer said, "You both saved my life, and I won't let the hunter harm you. However, I think he might return, so you should find a safe place to hide. Sea turtle, you should go back to the water, and my dear bird friend, and then should hide in the forest." When the hunter returned to the lake and saw the empty bag on the ground, he felt great disappointment. He had no choice but to pick up the bag and wearily return home. When the children in the village heard this story from the monk, they were entranced. As the monk continued to share the story, he told him that each person was like the lotus flowers in the pond, with unique roots, stems, leaves, and flowers. Just as the flowers varied, each person had different qualities, virtues, talents, and wisdom. He emphasized that the path of liberation required various methods to satisfy different types of individuals, and teaching the village children was a fulfilling experience. He believed that teaching them was simple, like the deer's approach, making communication accessible to all. The children were reminded that just like the lotus flowers and the unique deer sea turtle, and they all had their own individual qualities. He needed different methods and approaches, just like the various gates, to enlightenment to cater to their diverse natures. In order to comprehend the teachings, different paths, like different gates, allow diverse individuals to enter and grasp the teachings. The establishment of dharmic gates occurs through direct interaction with people. A teacher doesn't confine themselves to specific instruction on methods prescribed by tradition, but rather acknowledges the need to return to society to sow the seeds of liberation. The teacher has already undergone 49 days of meditation. He is now approaching the time to leave the monastery. Their plan is to depart on the second day, leaving behind the serene forests, the monasteries, tranquility, the young novices and children. The teacher hopes to find their two venerable mentors, Armal and Kokunomazu. They trust that with the assistance of these two revered guides, they can hasten their realization. After meeting these two respected individuals, the teacher intends to search for 5 friends who share their spiritual journey, and they plan to travel to the town of Varanasi. The following morning, with their new attire, the teacher steps out into the gentle morning mist and starts the journey towards the monastery. They reach the meeting place at the home of a young herdsman, informing him and their family that they must leave. The teacher gently pats the heads of all the children, and then in the company of good heart they walk towards the house of Virtuous Birth, where they share the news. Virtuous Birth can't help but shed a few tears upon hearing the announcement. The teacher reassures him, saying, "I must depart from here to complete my mission, but I promise you that there is a chance I will return. You have all been very helpful to me, and I am deeply grateful. Please remember to continue your practice and do what we have shown, so I won't be too far away." Good heart wiped her tears and smile. It goes on, wiping away her tears with her delicate sleeves. That's her best to muster a smile. Together they proceed to the outskirts of the village. Just as the teacher is about to bid farewell, a young traveler approaches them, joining their company and bowing in curiosity. After a few months of silence, the traveler inquires, "Noble, as you appear to be on a sacred mission, may I humbly ask your name?" For each great teacher you receive guidance. The teacher responds, "My name is Jayadema Saduduko. I have studied many masters, although I currently have no living teacher. May I ask your name and from which spiritual center you come?" The young traveler replies, "I am Yonan Lampu. He recently left the spiritual center of Guru Kukulomo. Is Guru Kukulomo in good health?" inquires the teacher. The young traveler responds, "I am afraid not. He passed away just a few days ago." "Did you have the opportunity to meet a householder named Warinyu when you were at Guru Kukulomo's center?" the teacher asks. Young Trumpo replies, "Of course, I've heard of Benevolence deeds, although I didn't meet them personally. Why do you inquire about Benevolence?" With a sigh, the teacher acknowledges, "I met all the elders and children there. Now it is time for me to continue on my journey. I still have a longer road ahead." The teacher clasps hands with Yangon Kombu and continues to march northward along the riverbank. The teacher is aware of the long path that lies ahead, but it seems like a straightforward one. As the river Nilian flows northward, meeting with the Hang River, they understand that by following the course of the Hang River westward, they will have reached where they reach the city of Varanasi. As the teacher continued their journey beyond the eternal river, they arrived at the city of Varanasi. The children had been watching them leave, and their hearts were heavy as they followed his departure. Their eyes were filled with sorrow, and although Good Heart was close to tears, she refrained from crying in front of her younger siblings. After a while, the teacher spoke, "Dear children, I must prepare to visit the water buffalo today. It's time for us to return home. Bosun, please remember to wash Kakrek and make sure to feed her." Silently, they all walked back along the riverbank to their village. During this time, the teacher shared the teachings with Arduous and Loyal as requested. Listened attentively, understanding the profound experiences of the teacher during their time in the sacred forest. Good Heart, while remaining silent for the past 2 days, seemed to appreciate these stories greatly. She was eager to learn more about the events and life of the teacher. As the teacher repeated the details, Arduous and Loyal were deeply engaged as they are very fond of hearing stories about the children from the village. They enjoyed hearing about the monks and the children, and the teacher shared oranges in the forest. Loyal, who hadn't spoken during the past 2 days, was also excited by these stories. He was keen to know more about the teacher's journey, especially their 6 months of solitary practice. Although he felt a little embarrassed, he managed to ask teacher, would you be willing to share with us the story of your departure from the Varanasi village in the forest? The teacher responded, you don't need to address me as teacher. Now I'm ready to talk more about it. At this point, the next chapter of this story will be presented where the teacher recounts their departure from the Varanasi village and the events of their life during those 40 rain days. You will meet again in the upcoming episode. After becoming enlightened, the teacher returned home and preached the 4 noble truths to their family. They also shared the story of their worldly life, which we heard earlier. And so, dear listeners, we conclude another chapter in the saga of enlightenment. The Buddha's interactions with the children, a poignant tale of the deer, the bird, and the turtle, and the unfolding journey towards Valdawase have unveiled profound teachings. As the teacher, now known as Yasodhara, continues their pilgrimage, the threads of ancient Titantedness weave through every trio. Join me in our next episode, where we delve deeper into the unfolding chapters of Siddhartha's quest in entering new phases, ancient mentors, and the sacred city of Varanasi. Till on may the wisdom should here illuminate your path to understand and enlightenment.